Hello and welcome to Ecoholics. Today's lecture is a very important lecture regarding the EVs versus the HVs. So here we can say the electric vehicles versus hydrogen vehicles. Now here why this is important, because Supreme Court of India directed the central government regarding the exploration or explore the feasibility of using the hydrogen vehicles in the National Capital Region, the NCR region, and the other parts of northern India. Now, Supreme Court is showing interest in the hydrogen vehicles, that is HV, for the NCR road buses. So, the road buses that the central government they are directing to see explore the we can say the feasibility of the hydrogen vehicle. So this is a directive given by the Supreme Court. Supreme Court can give directives directly to the government, but these are certain directives not actually applicable. So here they can direct the executive in order to see the matters of the public importance. So this obviously the pollution, the smog of Delhi is actually an issue regarding the public importance. That's why Supreme Court directed the government of India in order to see the feasibility of hydrogen vehicles, especially in the NCR region, regarding the road buses. So we'll see in this lecture that what is the way forward for India, and for that way forward we will see the and we'll see obviously we'll discuss the explore we'll explore the we can say feasibility of both the electric vehicles and the hydrogen vehicles. Although hydrogen vehicle are the parts of electric vehicle, because these are also using the non the renewable sources of energy, but here we can say this is also a clean energy, part of clean energy. Now if we see there is a race between we can say the hydrogen vehicles and the electric vehicles. So we'll see that race, and the race is obviously in order to produce more and more the same kind of vehicles, and these kind of vehicles will be helpful in the future. So here the talking about the zero emission market, and under zero emission market the countries are actually competing in order to capture the market. Now here if you see the China, United States of America, they are moving towards the electric vehicles, while on the other hand Japan, South Korea and other countries are moving towards the hydrogen. Currently we can say that electric vehicles are in the lead. So currently electric vehicles are producing a lot of cars, a lot of two-wheelers, and here we can say a lot of companies are involving in producing the electric vehicles. Now you must have heard about the name of Tesla, the one of the most expensive electric cars in the world. Here we have the EVs obviously are more popular, and every year there are hundreds of models are actually coming, and you can see on the Indian roads as well cars and two-wheelers are also there. But here Japanese companies are investing in the hydrogen vehicles. Here we can say that they are collaborating with the other world economy, and here Niti Aayog is also in consultation with the hydrogen vehicles, especially from Japan, to see the mobility of this hydrogen vehicles in India. So the question in front of India is, should we promote the hydrogen vehicles or the electric vehicles? So we'll discuss the fundamental difference between these two. Now the fundamental difference between hydrogen vehicles and the electric vehicles, the number one is that the hydrogen vehicles actually run on motor powered by the electricity. So it means the motor that is implemented in hydrogen vehicle, that is actually powered by the electricity. Now here obviously, as I told you, hydrogen vehicle is also the part of electric vehicles, we can say basically, but the main difference is regarding the source of energy. Like here we can say the electric vehicles, they are actually running on the sources of big batteries. So they are having big battery establishment in order to store the electricity, and that store electricity that they are using throughout their journey. Now these are the, we can say that this hydrogen vehicles are the using fuel cells, and these fuel cells are producing power from the hydrogen gas stored in a vehicle tank. So there is a tank, suppose in a bus, and in that tank there is a hydrogen gas stored, and these fuel cells are actually producing power in order to run that particular bus or car, whatever it is. Now both electric vehicles and the hydrogen vehicles both are related to the policy of zero emission. It means they are not producing any kind of carbon. Here zero emission means, if you see the tailpipe means that silencer that we used to say, the tailpipe, there is no emission from that. It means that will improve the air quality of the region. So in Delhi, that is the urgent need that we need, that to improve the air quality in the national capital. But here we can say that the main advantage of hydrogen vehicle is about the refueling. So the refueling is fast in comparison to, we can say, same like the petrol filling or diesel filling. So it is like same that petrol vehicle is taking. So the refueling of hydrogen vehicle is very fast. If we see the refueling of electric vehicle, it is approximately, it means that less time that it required is the, it means minimum 1 hour is needed, and that is for Tesla. This is one of the most expensive car in the world that charges in an hour. So it requires an hour in order to run that particular car, bus, whatever it is. But in hydrogen vehicle, the refueling is same as like you are filling up your car with a petrol on a certain petrol pump. Now here we can say the main problem with the hydrogen vehicle is regarding their cost. So here if we see the hydrogen vehicles and electric vehicles again, the main issue is the cost is very high. So here cost is very high, the efficiency is less, and emission is high in comparison to the electric vehicles. So on this side, the cost is low, efficiency high, and emission is less in comparison to the hydrogen vehicle. Now we need to understand the difference between these two. If you see the vehicle technologies that are evaluated, it means how we can evaluate that which one of the method is efficient in comparison to the another. Now in order to measure the energy consumption efficiency, they are measured at the two major parameters. What are these parameters? The number one is the well to tank parameter. This is what we call WTT, and the another one is the tank to wheel parameter. This is what we call TTW, tank to wheel parameter. Now if we see the first one, WTT, the efficiency in delivering this certain kind of fuel, oil, gas, whatever it is, to the wheel tank. So it means from the oil rig to the particular tank, this is the efficiency that well to tank measures. The another one that we have is tank to wheel. Tank to wheel actually evaluates the efficiency of a particular vehicle. It means how efficient that vehicles are using these fuels in order to run for a particular duration. So it means this is from the oil rig to the tank, and this is tank to a particular vehicle. Now another kind of efficiency we measure is known as the well to wheel. which is called WTW. Well to wheel measures the overall efficiency including these two. It is a combination of these two components. So it is these kind of comparison accepted worldwide. Now if we compare on these parameters, the parameter number 1 and the parameter number 2, on both these parameters, if you see the both electricity and the hydrogen that are produced right now in India is by fossil fuels. It means although we are promoting electric vehicles, but we are producing electricity with the fossil fuel. So we can say that we are producing electricity with the help of coal, which itself a fossil fuel. We are producing hydrogen with the natural gas, which is itself a fossil fuel. So it means we are producing the electricity with the help of fossil fuels. So more or less the same thing, that either we directly use in the vehicles or we can use via electricity. Here that will add the significant cost for the consumers as well as for the producers. Now here we can say most of the hydrogen under the hydrogen vehicle, if you compare these, most of the hydrogen, as I told you earlier, it is produced by the natural gas. So natural gas, obviously, while we can say it is powered by burning of coal. So how natural gas is extracted? So powered by the burning coal or the natural gas, these kind of things. Now if we see that currently in India there is a mix of fuel. It means the hydrogen vehicles have slightly lower efficiency in comparison to the electric vehicles. So these are the important points that we have to note out. Now here if we see the efficiency of the well to tank, the number 1 here we say, if we see the efficiency of well to tank in comparison to the hydrogen vehicle, the EVs are low in comparison to HVs, because here efficiency of the coal power plants, that is 30%. So at 30% the coal power plants are working, and if you see T and D losses, which is called the transmission and distribution losses, these are around 20%. But here if we see the electric vehicles loses around 10 to 15% of their energy, especially in the battery, motors, etc. While we compare with the hydrogen vehicle, it is around 40 to 45%. So you can compare these two data and this will tell you the true picture of the efficiency that the electric vehicles are actually providing. So here we can say the main losses here under hydrogen vehicle is from whenever we convert hydrogen to electricity. Now we see the process as well. Now overall we can say the overall efficiency, that is from well to wheel, it means that total the electric vehicle or the type of electric car that India is actually providing. So these efficiency of the typical electric car in India is about 21% in electric vehicles and 19% in hydrogen vehicles. So efficiency is 19% in hydrogen vehicles and 21% in electric vehicles. So you can understand that 2% greater efficiency provided by the electric vehicles. So that's why again and again I'm saying electric vehicles are outpacing the hydrogen vehicle. Now if we see that both hydrogen and electricity will have to be produced from the renewables in order to move towards or move beyond our fossil fuels or move towards zero carbon energy technologies like hydropower, nuclear, biomass, these are the examples. Now you know that hydrogen, which is produced by the water electrolysis. So what is water electrolysis? It means it is a process where we can break the water molecule into hydrogen and oxygen. So hydrogen and the oxygen, so we actually break. So this is a process what we call the water electrolysis. In zero carbon motive of India, here we can say there is no sense that we will implement the hydrogen vehicle. The best sense here we have is to get the electric vehicles as soon as possible. Now electric vehicles uses the energy directly from the grid. Grid means where we use domestic electricity as well or the commercial electricity, that is from the certain distribution channel. So this is the grid you must have seen in your locality. There are certain grid of electricity. So electric vehicles are using directly from the grid. So that is the biggest advantage of the electric vehicles in comparison to the hydrogen vehicles. Now the biggest problem is about the hydrogen vehicle is we need a separate infrastructure. So infrastructure for the hydrogen vehicle we need separate setup. So we need a setup. But here we can say about electric vehicles, this infrastructure is already there, like at home, at petrol pump, at commercial charging stations. But here we just do minor changes and we'll get the advantage. Here we have to set up new infrastructure. So you can understand the cost under hydrogen vehicle is way high in comparison to the electric vehicles. Because of the we can say under hydrogen vehicle we have expensive infrastructure because we need to transport, we need to compress, we need to store the hydrogen and then dispense the hydrogen towards the pumping station. But here under electric vehicle every home is getting the electric connection. So here it is very less cost. We can establish the electric vehicle infrastructure to run our cars. Although we can say no offenses against the decision of Supreme Court or the directive against the Supreme Court, beg your pardon, not the decision, directive to the central government, what Supreme Court is thinking about the hydrogen vehicle. The hydrogen vehicle may look like a quick solution, short-term solution, but in the long run, EVs are the winner. So electric vehicles are the winner in the long run. So you can understand that government should think very carefully before investing heavily in hydrogen vehicle. Electric vehicles are the investment for the long run and where they provide the faster and cheaper solution for the India, because India is obviously require huge capital in order to invest in the hydrogen vehicles infrastructure. So that's it for this lecture. If you have any doubt, you can ask between these two, the difference and what the government has been taking the action regarding the smog in Delhi. Because as I said earlier, hydrogen cannot compete with electric vehicles today, but its viability in electric vehicles, we can say, will move towards the renewable sources as it will go up. Because right now electric vehicles, these electricity we are producing with the fossil fuels, so that is also not good. Just to inform you that we are starting our Indian Economic Service batch from 1st December 2019. This will be the last batch for 2020 June examination. We complete the course in 5 to 6 months. It means by the end of, we can say, the April or mid-May, you are finishing the course. In this course, you'll get the lecture from Monday to Saturday. And on this every Sunday, there will be a test, the subjective test. And before the next test, you'll get the evaluated answer key. So answer copies, and that answer copies, so whatever the mistake you have committed, you can correct in the next test. So this is a process of 5 to 6 months of rigorous practice of the numericals, etc., of all the paper, General Economics 1, 2 and 3 and Indian Economy. And we will provide guidance for general English as well as general studies. So this is a scheme of the course that if you are interested, you can visit our website ecoholics.in, where you can do registration on the home page. Apart from this, from the 10:30 p.m. daily, we are meeting from Monday to Saturday on a daily basis for the current economic discussion and analysis. And these kind of analysis are helpful for UPSC examination, especially whenever you are writing mains examination, answer writing in Indian Administrative Services, as well as for the economics optional students and Indian Economic Services students. Apart from this, RBI phase 2 is coming. So for the DEPR student, that is Department of Economic Policy and Research, we have started this course as well, Department of Economic Policy and Research for this time. And other bank examination where you have to write essay in specialist officer job as an economist in the bank or the probationer officer. So that's it for today, and if you have any doubt you can always ask on my WhatsApp number. So till then, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for subscribing Ecoholics. Do follow us on social media given on this screen, on your screen, especially on Instagram account where we provide daily questions. So till then, thank you so much for tuning up, and good night.